Well, ladies and gentlemen, the internet has been set on fire with the recent announcement with The Last of Us casting for good old Abby. You guys know who Abby is, the overly brolic woman in the post-apocalyptic world where you're lucky to get 1,000 calories a day, somehow maintaining a body that a man eating 6,000 calories a day in modern times would struggle to attain. But yet again, this is a suspension of disbelief that Naughty Dog has asked you to believe when it comes to Abby, their poster child for diversity, equity, and inclusion in Last of Us. But here we have the casting officially announced for Abby, and it is quite ridiculous. So let's get into this article, guys, from Bounding Into Comics. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. Like the video to push us out to the YouTube algorithm, and consider subscribing to my manga channel. The links are in the description box below. I would love to see you there. So the headline reads, HBO's The Last of Us ready to golf swing, cast Dear Evan Hansen star Caitlin Dever as Abby Anderson. Now, let's take a look at this picture, side-by-side comparison, ladies and gentlemen, okay? It's very interesting to me that Bounding Into Comics chose, at least for the headline picture, to not showcase the two characters or the two people together, because at least in their full body, because I gotta tell you, Abby is literally Vin Diesel with a wig, and this lady over here on the right side is as thin as sticks. I don't understand, unless they're going to go the Thor Love and Thunder route and use prosthetic arms, basically fake muscular arms, to try to convince everybody that a woman is capable of attaining that physique naturally in a post-apocalyptic world, or even a regular world for that matter, because clearly everybody was trying to use the argument of, oh, Abby has a totally attainable body. You guys are just being sexist and bigots. I don't understand why you guys think that Abby's body's not attainable. It's totally attainable. It's easy for women to get it. That's what a lot of people were trying to say over on Twitter back in the day. Now, the funny thing is, they had an opportunity to cast someone. If it's so easy, right? If it's so easy for women to attain this body and to attain this muscular physique, especially in a world where you're lucky if you get food for a day, why didn't you cast someone? Why did you go with this woman who I guarantee you're going to make super ugly, by the way? She's a very pretty girl, and you're going to make her unbelievably ugly because that's what you guys do in Hollywood now. But besides that being the point, why didn't you cast someone that was super muscular? If it's so easy to find, why didn't you just get one? It should have been very easy for you to pick amongst the hundreds of millions of women out there that are super, super muscular. But, you know, this is the bullshit that they try to sell you. So let's get into the article. It says, in further solidifying the fact that a dance with arguably video games' most pretentious moment is on the horizon, HBO's The Last of Us has officially announced its casting of the franchise's resident golf pro, Abby Anderson. I mean, look at this girl's arms, ladies and gentlemen. This girl has shoulders that would make a linebacker jealous. I'm telling you, look at her. She is massive. And they they hired someone that literally looks like a petite model. I don't know. As first reported by TV Line's Kimberly Roots, actress Caitlin Dever, perhaps best known for her starring roles as Amy Ansler in 2019's Booksmart and Zoe Murphy in the 2021 film adaptation of Dear Evan Hansen, has been tasked with the role of bringing the original video game series' widely rejected sequel, Deuteragants, to life on the small screen. Per an official description of Abby's television incarnation provided to Roots, Abby will be portrayed as a skilled soldier whose black and white view of the world is challenged as she seeks vengeance for those that she loves. Word remains out on whether or not Denver will go through any significant bodybuilding regimens prior to filming. Now, again, I don't think they're gonna do that, okay? I highly doubt that a woman that looks like this is going to want to actually do any sort of bodybuilding regimen that is going to make her even remotely close to the physique that Abby portrayed on screen during the game, right? It's literally impossible. This woman would have to go on roids. This woman would have to eat insane amounts of food, and she would have to lift every single day to even get remotely close in that short amount of time. It's just not possible. So what are they going to do? I guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, she will be using prosthetic arms. She will be using fake arms that are overly muscular, just like they did in Thor Love and Thunder, to try to sell you on the idea that women can look like this, right? You should have just hired a man in a wig. I mean, they're women anyway, right? Like, they count as women to you. So I don't know why you didn't just hire some trans actor that can easily do the physique, no problem, in the time period that you have to film this stuff. But you went with an actual biological female who is extremely petite and tiny, and you're trying to sell her as Abby. It just doesn't make any sense. Again, it's the whole thing where you had an opportunity to respect the source material, even though nobody likes the source material, and you had the one chance to respect it, and you said, screw that, we're just gonna hire someone completely opposite for the role just because. It's pretty damn hilarious to me. It says, praising Denver's casting in a statement provided to the news outlet, series showrunner Craig Mazin joined executive producer and Naughty Dog president Neil Druckmann, aka Neil Cuckman, and asserted, our casting process for season 2 has been identical to season 1. We look for world-class actors who embody the souls of the characters in the source material. Nothing matters more than talent, they added, and we're thrilled to have an acclaimed performer like Caitlin join Pedro, Bella, and the rest of our family. Bro, how is she gonna look like this? How is she gonna get this built, this brolic, in such a short amount of time? I'm laughing because I don't see it. It's gonna look so fake. If they use prosthetic arms, it's gonna look unbelievably fake. I mean, you could tell when you saw in Thor Love and Thunder, the way they made her arms look and how skinny the rest of her body was in comparison, it looked terrible. It looked really, really terrible. So I hope that they don't go that route and they just decide to go with a petite Abby for some reason and redo the whole thing and skip the whole muscular Abby look. But I don't really know if they're going to do that. They have to stick with the muscular Abby look, right? Because if they don't, that's going to go against everything they said over the last few years about Abby. So they're kind of in a conundrum here. They need to figure out what they're going to do. It says, given that the first season of HBO's The Last of Us ended on near identical note as the first game in the franchise, faced with the choice between allowing the Firefly to dissect Ellie and study her unique DNA in service of a potential cure for the cordyceps virus, or slaughtering the entire group and saving his surrogate daughter's life, Joel chooses the latter. It comes as little surprise that the series' second season would turn its attention towards Joel and Ellie's subsequent outing. However, with their commitment to the story direction, a question arises regarding star Pedro Pascal's future with the series. As players or anyone using social media in 2020 already knows, The Last of Us 2 beats audience over the head in providing a definitive ending to Joel's story. But how does HBO go about staying true to the source material in light of the fact that Pascal's star power serves as a significant draw to the series for mainstream audiences? Do they actually follow through or branch off into their alternate timeline territory with keeping him alive? I think they're going to follow through. I think they're absolutely going to follow through, and I think Pedro Pascal would be happy as hell to let a woman beat him in the head with a golf club. I'm just being real with you, okay? This man has literally zero testosterone left in his body. He's a male feminist, so I guarantee he's going to be all for this, and he's excited to get his ass beat on screen by a woman for everybody to see. But the funny thing is, I don't think it's going to be in the beginning, okay? I think it's obviously going to be towards the end. They might change up the time of which he dies. It might not be so early on in the story. They will probably drag it out as much as possible. They'll do the first part of the game spread across the entire season and then eventually lead to Joel's death. And then at the end of season 2, they'll lead it to season 3 where Ellie's going to take over in season 3 and become this, martyr of justice, which she's going to try to get revenge for Joel's death. I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think they're going to do everything in season 2, but then again, I didn't think they were going to do the entire first game in season 1, and they ended up doing that anyway. I think they were just trying to rush as much as they can while the iron was hot to Abby, because Abby's their poster child. That's their golden child. That's the one that they want to really put on screen. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do in season 2. If they blow their entire load in season 2, then they're really not going to have much of a season 3 that's going to be canonical, because it's all going to be made up after that. So I think they're going to split it. They're going to do half of the second game in season 2 and the other half in season 3, but eventually time will tell. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.